having a nutrition plan is like putting proper fuel in the body. If you put petrol in a diesel car, it will not work. Similarly, if you want to be the best in the world, you need to have a proper setup. Your trainer, your nutritionist, your physio, your residency, everything has to be aligned, and input is good. Only then and only then you can get a good outcome.
I'm Vian Narayan and I'm 14 years old and I'm a tennis player. I got into tennis when I was 8 years old. My dad had recommended me tennis. When I started playing tennis, I was, just playing for fun. But then I got very interested into it and I really started enjoying it. And I want to do it professionally. So I started professionally when I was maybe 11 or 12. And my coach had recommended me to come to Qua Nutrition. And in the beginning, I was really chubby, not really that fit, and used to be slow. But when I've come to Qua Nutrition, I'm really, changing. I can see myself, change physically and mentally. I'm really feeling good. So when I was chubby, I used to really be slow. I used to not be able to run down the ball. I couldn't really sometimes fit into the clothes that I wanted to. I was outgrowing much faster. Went through the nutrition as I followed everything that I was told about the nutrition. I really, I transformed completely. Right now I'm very happy with the way I'm going. I'm quite fit. I'm not chubby anymore. I feel that I can always do things because being chubby was a very sad time for me. I people used to sometimes make fun of me, and I used to not like that. But now I feel confident. After joining Core Nutrition, my discipline, my sleep routines have changed drastically. I'm never craving for the chocolates and ice creams anymore. I used to have them all day, but coming here, I've mentally become very strong. I don't think I can control my cravings for anything. I can control myself now more. I feel, and yeah, it's played a big role for my mental health also. I'm really more confident now. Mainly, my dietitians are Ryan sir and Siddhant sir. I've really enjoyed the journey with them. It's going really good now. They have given me they've helped me a lot. Not just in the nutrition part, in the tennis part, in my breathing also. I'm really feeling good now when I breathe. I don't get breathless often. We're working on the power breath that has really helped me to play longer matches and all. I don't really get tired anymore. I feel stronger. Very happy with the way I'm just going. Discipline is the most important thing. I used to be very indisciplined in the beginning. I used to sleep, eat whatever I want, sleep whenever I want, play video games almost all day. Now I'm very toned. I sleep on time. I eat well, I think, and it's changed me a lot. I feel more confident whenever I'm out.
When Vian was very small, I think about 5 or 6 years old, he was just sitting at home and doing a lot of video games. So we just decided to put him in a sport. And there was a group tennis coaching that was happening in our complex. So Vian just joined that. From there, he started playing well. A lot of other parents also noted and told us that, you should coach Vian professionally, find somebody who can give him good direction. And incidentally, a national player also stays in our complex. So she also told us that he can do well. So from there, we started looking for a good tennis coach for Vian. And we came across Jaydev, who was very good. And we were told that he has trained national level players. So we just took him to the coach, and Vian just struck a good chemistry with the coach, and we started slow, but eventually we went into full-fledged tennis by the time he was 11 or 12, and he started playing. Now, during our discussions, this would come up that while we are doing tennis coaching, it's very, very important that Vian gets nutritional aid also. So we started thinking about it. We wanted to go with a good nutritionist, and we started discussing with his coach, Jaydev. And then came Ryan Fernando's name, and I just casually booked an appointment. Okay, let me go and see. And the first nutritionist that I met here was Abigail, and we were somehow very convinced that it is a science which goes behind nutrition. So we took his genetic test. She told us that all this is very important. Then we met Siddhant, who told us that these kind of blood tests we will do, and then start the entire nutritional plan. So I found this all very, very scientific, and we were convinced that this is the right place. We started our journey, and within 6 months we saw good change in Vian in terms of physique, in terms of his eating, and we really followed the plan diligently. Ever since then, that we've been going ahead with this plan, and we've seen visible changes in Vian, whether it was to do with height, whether it was to do with his appetite, whether it was to do with his, stamina. We saw a lot of change. We see so many players in the tennis court collapsing because of salt deficiency or because of cramping. But touchwood, I have not seen that with Vian. I think the right eating has enabled him to play consistently. Wins and losses are part of the game, but his energy, his stamina, that all seems to be only improving. So I am quite happy with the decision we take. And I think nutrition as a whole has a lot to do with how you play, what is your energy level, and at the end, it is the backbone behind any sport. So that was our journey with Ryan and his team. They have been really, really collaborative, and it just doesn't feel like a professional session that you are having with a nutritionist. Eat this, do this. I think it's a very well-rounded discussion that we have, all on personality, his approach towards the game, his nutritional requirement. So I find this a very, very well-rounded approach towards Vian's nutritional plan. So we are very happy, and let's see where we go from here.
When I met Vian back in 2023, he was a kid who was aspiring to be a tennis player. He came to us, we jot down, we sat, we had a detailed discussion on what he needs to do, what he's been doing so far. We had an understanding what are his immediate goals, what are his long-term goals, jot down a game plan for the next 1 year, what we need to do, broke it down into small parts on what his immediate requirements are, immediate things that we need to do, and what should be a long-term goal. Now, what I feel from him is, and I think this mentality, this mindset is what differentiates from a good player to a great player. In India, food is looked as traditionally from love. Like, you eat food out of love. You don't think about, okay, what I'm supposed to eat today. You're like, what I feel like eating today. And we often correlate our traditions, our relations to with the food. But if you want to be a professional athlete, you are not a normal person. You want to be an extraordinary person, do an extraordinary thing. To be at that level, you need to have a scientific approach towards everything, right? You just don't start playing a game just like that. You go to a trainer, you go to a coach, and you get your training well, and then you start playing well. Then you go to an SNC person to help you strengthen your body to be able to play the game. But what we usually lack is to do all this, to go and train with the coach, to go and train with the physio, train with the trainer. What you need basic is your fuel. And that's where you often overlook the fact or overlook the importance that putting in right foods can give you right or even amazing results from an output point of view. Now, when you eat from taste, there's hardly any science behind it. And when you eat from taste, it is okay if you're a normal person. It's okay if you just want to go by your normal day. But if you want to be the best in the best in the best in the world, you cannot be eating with love. You need to eat with science. Right from what you do in the morning to what you do before you go to bed, what you do before your training, what you do during your session, during your training. All these jot downs, all these minute moments which we usually overlook day in, day out, doing that repeatedly over a span of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, that's what makes you an overnight success. When we started working with him in 2023, there was a lot of gaps in his game that we had to look at. We had to build up his strength, we had to build up his endurance. We also need to focus on his growth, because that's what his growing phase of this life. So the importance of nutrition in your growth in your game plays a major role. So we had to work on his endurance, work on his strength, work on his recovery, work on his height growth, work on his power, work on his say sleep, muscle stiffness, cramps, and everything. Now, day by day, day in, day out, we chart out, okay, what is supposed to do for the next 6 months, 1 year. We started working on everything. Cut to 2025, 2 years back. He's beating players 2 years elder to him. He's playing under 14, he's beating under 16 players very easily. What we get from the coach's feedback is that he doesn't get tired. 16-year-old player in front of him gets tired. This guy doesn't. They get cramped up. This guy doesn't. Now, this is the magic of nutrition. Tennis is a game of fuel. You play for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Yes, it's a technical game, but you can outrun the player by making him tired. If you don't run out of fuel, you can win a rally if you are matched up with a good player. So the fact that a person playing against 2 years, 3 years elder to them, in terms of experience, in terms of age, in terms of power, imagine the stroke that comes from a 16-year-old against a 12, 13, 14-year-old person. And that person able to hit that with power and beat them. That's the magic of nutrition. And we often overlook this because nutrition, we eat food, we don't see tangible results. But these are the results that we see when you are disciplined, when you are consistent, when you have a structured eating pattern or structured routine for everything that you do in a day with respect to your game. And that's what makes champions.